This is a video about the 2016 West Virginia Democratic Convention and just some basic information and what to expect. I'd like to begin with a disclaimer. I'm a volunteer. I'm doing this on my own time. I'm not being paid. A campaign has not asked me to do this. Completely grassroots. Also, I have never been to a state convention. The information I'm going to share is information I've gathered from talking to individuals who have been to conventions and also from reading a lot of information. So this is an approximation of the basic steps that will happen at the convention. Okay, so you're a delegate to your state convention, and at the state convention, the next thing that will happen is we're going to select a delegation to send to nationals. West Virginia will be able to send 37 delegates and 2 alternates. And they are different ways to be delegates. There are 20 district level delegates, and those are the ones that we as delegates from our counties, we will select those 20, and I'll go into a lot of detail on how we pick those. The other delegates, there are 3 delegates that are called PLEOs. That stands for Pledged Party Leaders and Elected Officials. There are 6 at-large delegates, and there are 8 unpledged PLEOs, unpledged party leaders and elected officials, and those are the superdelegates that we hear a lot about, and all that adds up to 37 delegates and 2 alternates. And in that description, pledged means that each of those delegates are pledged to a particular candidate. They are either pledged to support Hillary Clinton at the convention or pledged to support Bernie Sanders at the convention. The unpledged means they are free to choose whoever they want to. They do not have to, they're not bound to support one or the other. The district level delegates we'll go into a lot of detail about in a minute, but there are 20, and District 1 gets to pick 7, District 2 gets to pick 7, District 3 gets to pick 6, for a total of 20, and we pick those delegates. The 3 PLEOs, the Pledged Party Leaders and Elected Officials, are selected by the State Democratic Executive Committee, and those are selected amongst mayors, legislators, county officials, party leaders, etc. Executive Committee picks those. There are 6 at-large delegates and 2 alternates. The Executive Committee also picks these. The at-large delegates are picked from throughout the state, and the West Virginia Democratic Committee has a non-discrimination policy and affirmative action plan. So in the selection of delegates through the PLEOs and the district level, if they have not met criteria to make sure that there is representation from African Americans, from Hispanics, from LGBT young people, old people, whatever, different groups have to be represented. And so the at-large is an opportunity to make sure that there is a appropriate representation for each of those groups. And they are pledged delegates. They also will be pledged either to Hillary or to Bernie Sanders. And the unpledged delegates, or the superdelegates, there are 8 of those. We know who they are. One of them is Senator Joe Manchin. One of them is Governor Tomlin. The other ones are different members of the DNC. Natalie Tennant, Chris Reagan, who is the vice chair of the Democratic Executive Committee, Belinda Beafor, who's the chair of the West Virginia DNC Executive Committee, Pat Maroney, John Perdue, and Elaine Harris, and they all have different roles within the DNC that gives them superdelegate status. These people are not pledged, and they can support any of the candidates that they choose regardless of how their state voted. So here's the breakdown again. The first section is the district level people. They are pledged. There are 20 of them, 7 from District 1, 7 from District 2, and 6 from District 3. The next section are the PLEOs, the pledged party leaders and elected officials. There are 3 of those. The State Executive Committee selects those. The next section is the at-large. The State Executive Committee also will pick those. There'll be 6 of those, plus they'll pick 2 alternates. And then the fourth group are the unpledged PLEOs or the superdelegates. There are 8 of those. So as representatives from our counties, we will, through breaking up into our districts, we will select 20 delegates that will be pledged delegates, will be pledged to either Bernie or to Hillary. And here's the breakdown in the map. Congressional District 1 is in the north, District 2 is kind of the middle part and the eastern panhandle, and District 3 is the southern part of the state. And then here's the breakdown of the actual counties, District 1 counties, District 2 counties, and District 3, what counties they are. Okay, now that you know a little bit about the different types of delegates and the type of delegates that we are going to be selecting, let's actually go to the convention. We are going to be at the West Virginia State Democratic Convention. It begins on Friday, June the 10th, and goes through Saturday, June the 11th, 2016. The most important thing that you can do for your candidate is to show up, and show up early. If you are not there, or if you're there late and you don't get credentialed before they start voting, there is nothing that you can do to help your candidate. If you have some other things going on that weekend, clear your schedule, have somebody watch your kids, have somebody watch your dog, do whatever you need to do to get there, and to get there early, and be prepared to stay until they adjourn the meeting on Friday night, and be there early on Saturday, and stay until they adjourn on Saturday. Be there for the entire process so that you can help your candidate and your candidate's platform. Okay, so here is the tentative schedule that is up online right now. This, again, is tentative. Please don't assume that this is the final one. I'm sure it'll be similar to this, but this is just kind of to give us an idea. So the early afternoon things you don't really have to worry about unless you are on one of the committees, the Credentials Committee, the Rules Committee, and Resolution Committee. And we'll talk a little bit more about what those committees do later. But if you are on one of those committees, show up early. So in this schedule that they gave us, this tentative schedule, between about 3 o'clock registration will open, and they will have kind of an early dinner from 3 to 6. And so it'll be kind of like a reception area, a lot of people milling around. And in this picture that I have some blue dots that represent people who are diehard or leaning Hillary people, and pink dots for Bernie leaning and diehard Bernie people. So these are people who are county delegates from all over the state, from all 3 districts, and they're all milling around together talking to each other. People who are trying to be a delegate, one of the 20 delegates that we talked about that we are going to vote on to send to nationals. People who are trying to be a national delegate will have filled out some paperwork and sent it in, I think, by May the 13th. And so they had to put on there who they were pledged to. If they were selected, would they be pledged to Hillary or to Bernie? And did they want to be a district level delegate or an at-large, or both? Would they be willing to be considered for both? So on this picture, the X's represent those people, the people who are trying to be a national delegate. So you have, the big pink X's are people trying to be a Bernie delegate, and the big blue X's that are people trying to be a Hillary delegate. Now, these people are going to be campaigning during this time, and then they'll probably be campaigning before then too, you might get things in the mail saying, hey, I'm such and such, and I'm trying to be a delegate for Hillary, please vote for me. So they'll have, some flyers, they'll have business cards, they might have little bits of candy. They're going to go around and especially talk to people in their district and try to make a really good impression. They're just going to be campaigning to try to get you to vote for them. So then it looks like around 6:30 the convocation officially begins. They'll have, invocation and pledge. The chair, Belinda Viafor, will speak. There's going to be other speakers, probably maybe Senator Manchin or Governor Tomlin, people like that. And then looks like later in the evening, about 7:30, that we will break into our congressional districts. Okay, so everybody in District 1 will caucus together, be in a room or an area together. The same thing with District 2 and District 3 people. And so on this little drawing, you see, you have all the pink and blue dots that are people just sitting around. But up front, you kind of have a podium, and you have the X's, the people are trying to be delegates to the National Convention, are kind of behind the podium, which the podium is the little rectangle. And so one by one, they will each come up to the podium, and I think they have approximately a 2-minute speech. So they will say, hi, my name is Joe Smith, and I would like to be a delegate for Bernie Sanders because blah, 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 blah. Please vote for me. And then the next person gets up and does the same thing. So they give these little 2-minute speeches, and all this is happening all at the same time in District 1, District 2, and District 3. After the speeches, we will be able to vote. We will receive a ballot and ballot instructions. And the instructions for each one will be a little bit different. Basically, District 1 will say vote for 3 men and 4 women. District 2 will be told to vote for 4 men and 3 women. And District 3 will vote for 3 males and 3 females. Now, they will at that time also tell us the breakdown about how many men and women each of the candidates gets. So I have been told, and that I don't know how accurate this is, but what I have been told is that in District 3, while we have 3 men and 3 women, the breakdown will be 2 men and 2 women for Bernie, and 1 man and 1 woman for Hillary. So we'll know that going into, we will know when we receive our ballot instructions what that breakdown will be. Then we'll receive our ballot that'll look kind of like this. It'll have the Hillary delegates on one side, the Bernie delegates on the other, and those will be broken down into males and females. So if I'm in District 1 and I have to, pick 3 men and 3 women, I may pick all 3 Bernie people. I may choose a few Bernie people, and then also pick a couple Hillary people that I really like and I want to see go to nationals, because I think they would do a good job representing. They might like Hillary better, but they like Bernie's platform and agenda, so I might pick some Hillary people that way, and vice versa. Some Hillary people might choose to pick some Bernie delegates because Bernie's going to have the most. They may want to pick people that they really think will go and represent West Virginia really well and do a good job representing West Virginia. After the caucuses end, the Rules Committee will count the votes. District 1 Rules Committee members will count for District 2. District 2 Rules Committee will count for District 3. And District 3 Rules Committee will count for District 1. And then the last thing on the agenda is to be announced. Maybe they will have an evening reception. So then everybody will go back to, their hotel or do something together, maybe have some fun, hopefully not too much fun because we have a lot of work to do the next day. But it will be an exciting evening, and sharing it with friends would be nice, but then we need to be back back in the building again on Saturday morning. They will have breakfast between 8 and 9:30. Registration will be going on at that same time, and the convention begins at 9:45. Again, very, very important. Show up early. Make sure you get your registration on time, because you cannot participate, you cannot help your people if you're not there for the voting. So then, after registration, the convention will begin. There will be some kind of a guest speaker, and then they will announce who the congressional district caucus winners are. So these are the 20 delegates that we talked about, that are district level. That will go to nationals. They will announce who those winners are, and then they'll have some more guest speakers. After the guest speakers, there will be a time set aside for resolutions. They will present resolutions to us as an entire group. We'll all be together, all districts will be together for this part. They will present resolutions that we will either pass or not pass. And people who are on the resolutions committee, they will have come the day before and work together. There are different people in different counties would have sent in suggested resolutions, and some of them are kind of, pomp and circumstance type of resolutions, like we resolve to honor this person who did this great thing at this time, or something like that. And then, but some of them might have some more teeth, might be something about addressing change, or addressing your candidate's agenda, or something like that. So some of those resolutions could be very powerful and important. So it's really important to be there for that part. Next will be adopting the party platform. The party platform is on the website right now at wvdems.org. And every 4 years, when they have this convention, they will look at that platform to see if there's some new things that they want to adopt. Are there things in that platform that just doesn't fit with us anymore? And so people have, in different counties, and people have been sending in changes to the platform or recommendations, things like that. And the executive committee has a platform committee that, again, will have looked at those different things, and will put that into a platform that they will submit to us, and that we will vote yes or no on. After the platform stuff, we will together elect 2 at-large representatives for the Electoral College. And we send 5 people to the Electoral College, so I'm not sure where the other 3 come from, but they will be district level probably, but together we will elect 2 at-large reps to the Electoral College. So then I think we'll break for lunch, and then the state executive meeting will happen. We will not be able to participate in that, but I'm pretty sure that that's an open meeting that we'll be able to observe, and I encourage everybody to observe that meeting. And at that meeting, the executive committee will select the PLEOs, the pledged party leader and elected officials. They'll pick 3 of those, and then they will pick the 6 at-large and 2 alternates, who will then go on to nationals. And while they are choosing those, there's an affirmative action plan within the Democratic Party, and so they will make sure, let's say that of the 20 delegates that were selected on the district level, no one was selected that was disabled, or was African American, or was a young person, different things like that. So there are different groups that have to be represented. And so they use that opportunity of those at-large to make sure that there is representation from any group that isn't already representative from what we already chose. And then there's a national convention delegates meeting, so that all of the people who were chosen as delegates, regardless of what type of delegate that you are. All of the national delegates will have a meeting to probably learn about, what to expect and where you'll be staying and that sort of thing. I don't know that if that meeting is open, but I would assume that it is. But obviously, if you're selected as a delegate, you would want to attend that meeting. Okay, and some final thoughts. If you are an alternate and not a delegate, show up anyway. Show up just like you're going to be a delegate. More than likely, you will be selected as a delegate because some people just don't come. Secondly, the entire process is run, the process is run by Robert's Rules of Order. If you do not know Robert's Rules of Order, please go to YouTube and watch videos. Just type in at the top Robert's Rules of Order, and then different videos will come up. Some of them are short, some of them are long, but please come with a basic understanding of Robert's Rules of Order. Even if you don't plan on making motions or seconding motions or making amendments, just having an idea of what's going on is really, really important. And there may be an opportunity for you to make motions or amendments, and it's really important that you know how to do that. And thank you. What you're doing is public service. You're showing up. We have power to the people. We have the ability to affect change. Thank you for caring. Thank you for showing up. I think we're going to have fun that weekend, but it's still going to be work. And anyway, thank you in advance for showing up. And the more people like you show up to this type of convention, to our local county conventions, to our local Board of Education meetings, our city council meetings, the more we show up and get involved, the more that we're representation that we're going to have. So keep showing up. And finally, regardless of who you support more, Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton, there are probably a lot of things that we all agree on. There's probably a lot of common ground, and I'm very hopeful that we will find some of that common ground at the state convention and work together to have a really strong platform, really strong resolutions, and send really good representatives to Philadelphia to represent West Virginia, that we can find that common ground together. And even if people are unhappy with the result of the convention in July, and the person that you want to be the nominee isn't, regardless of that, there are still a lot of things that we can work side by side with. Bernie and Hillary people can work side by side together on issues that they can agree on. Things like we need to take back our state Senate, we need to take back our state House of Representatives, and so if we keep focused on the things that we have common ground about, we can really make a difference in November. And so, just kind of keep that in mind. Let's find the common ground. That there are a lot of things we disagree on. We'll not discuss those. Let's focus on the things that we can agree on. Well, I hope that this little video was helpful to you all. It was really helpful to me to dig up the information and talk to people. So I just wanted to share that. I hope it's helpful. My name is Selena Vickers, and I'm a delegate from Fayette County and District 3, and I hope to have an opportunity to meet all of you all at the convention. And so I'll see you there. Bye.